Hello guys, today's topic is liability of auditors. First of all, liability here refers to responsibility or accountability, which can be divided into four parts. First, liability to statute, to shareholder and auditors, to common law. Under the common law, there are liability to clients and liability to third parties. Now, we look liability under the statute. In the liability under statute, it consists of three acts, which is the Companies Act 1965, BAFIA 1989, and SCA 1993. But why do we need this statute? This is the vote. Let's say lah. The meaning of this vote is the main reason is to safeguard the interests of shareholder and the third parties. Third parties here means lenders, depositors, public, and etc. Now we look the example in Companies Act 1965. The guidelines for the auditor is based on these sections. Which is Section 8, qualification as auditors, appointment and remuneration of auditors, power and duties of auditors. If there is breach or non-compliance by the management under Companies Act 1965, the auditor must report to the members. And for BAFIA, auditor must report to Bank Negara. And for the Security Commission Act, the auditor must report to the Security Commission. Let's proceed to liability to shareholder and auditors. Now the first responsibility is due care. For further details, let's look into the case of Kingston Cotton Mill Corporation. In this case, the manager of the Kingston Cotton Mill had been exaggerating of the quantities and values of the company's stock. The auditor, on the other hand, did not perform stock take to vary the valuation of individuals' item. In conclusion, the auditor must perform skilled due care and diligence when performing his job. The second responsibility is about negligence. The case of negligence, however, depends on the court judgment under the circumstances of the case. Compliance with accounting standards, auditing standards, and guidelines provides a certain degree of assurance that the auditor has exercised reasonable care and skills. The third responsibility is about privity of contract. Privity of contract refers to the contractual relationship that exists between two or more contracting parties. Under contract, only the director or the liquidator or receiver may sue the auditor in respect of losses incurred by the company arising from the auditor's negligence. Here is an example of a case of Security Pacific Business Credit Incorporation against Pittmer Wickman and Corporation. An auditor is not liable to a third party who use audited financial statement. The resolution of the cases limits claim only to entities that are in direct privity with accounting firms, particularly the accountant's client. The fourth responsibility is about causal relationship. Causal relationship exists between the breach of duty by the auditor and the loss or harm suffered by the company. As of the cases Second-Hall Limited versus Atkins and Ors, auditor have incorrectly audited profit or loss account, thus resulted that company paying more dividend than it was intended for. In conclusion, the court held that the auditor has been negligent and are fully liable for the full amount of loss. The fifth responsibility is about contributory negligence. Contributory negligence relates to the failure of the plaintiff to meet certain required standards of care. Together with the defendant's negligence, it contributes to bringing about the loss in question. Now we look AWL Limited against Daniels D/A, Deloitte, Haskin, and Sears and Ors. The auditor was held to have been negligent in failing to warn the appropriate level of management and to implement follow-up actions to rectify internal control weaknesses discovered during the course of audit. However, the court ruled that the company was held to be guilty of contributory negligence through not establishing adequate controls in first place. Last but not least, damages. Where the auditors fell in their duty to act with reasonable care and skill, whether under contract or in tort, a plaintiff is entitled to recover any economic loss arising out of such breach of duty. So let's refer the case from contributory negligence. Let's proceed to liability under the common law. Under the common law, the auditor are liable if they did not practice the duty of care, skill, and diligence to the clients and third party. If the auditors did not practice the proper duties, the plaintiff can bring legal action by ways of breach of duty of care and damage. The difference of the third party and the client is that the client has made the contract with the auditor, whereas third party did not make any contract with the auditor, but they used the information made by the auditor, like auditor report, for decision making. Liability to clients. The auditor still need to comply with the common law, but in addition, they need to comply with what is stated in the engagement letter. In engagement letter, it consists the duties and the fee of the auditor. Contract made with the client will not override the common law but act as an additional responsibility of the auditor. The concept on third party is similar with the client, except there is no contractual agreement made. The third parties rely on the auditor's report when making decision. Thus, if the auditor is negligent when preparing report, he is liable to the third party.